Well, I get to introduce Cpac's next speaker, Governor Tim Pawlenty, and his is really an American story. He and his wife, Mary, of 20 years, have 2 teenage daughters. He was the first in his family to attend college. His father drove a truck for a living and was a Teamster. He got involved as a Reagan Republican early on, went to the state legislature, became the majority leader in the Minnesota State House, has twice been elected governor of the sometimes blue state of Minnesota, 2002 and 2006. And he is governed as a conservative. He has said no to tax increases and vetoed tax increases. He has said no to too much spending and vetoed too much spending. He's helped to bring Minnesota out of the top 10 taxed states down towards the center. And he's been a leader in reform. He's been advocating real health care reform, not more government, but saying let's start by allowing people in all 50 states to buy their health insurance from any state in the nation. Less government will lead to lower cost health care for all Americans and more opportunities for Americans to have health care. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, the governor of Minnesota, a Reagan Republican, a conservative, Governor Tim Pawlenty.
In return for grace, it's a beautiful day.
Thanks a lot. I sure appreciate it. I want to thank Grover Norquist for that kind introduction, as well as for his years, really decades, of advocacy and leadership and championing the conservative cause for limited government and lower taxes. We owe him a debt of appreciation. I'm thankful for that kind introduction. Grover Norquist. Now, some of you from this area know that the Washington, D.C. has been experiencing a lot of challenges. And one of those, of course, is the epic snowstorm that blew through town about a week ago. Schools were closed, businesses were closed, people couldn't come and go as they had hoped. Even the United States Congress was closed. And I say, and I know you agree, that any day that Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi can't get to work is a good day for freedom, it's a good day for liberty, and it's a good day for the American people's wallets. Now, you know that with these terrible weather conditions that this isn't President Obama's fault. He inherited these problems from President Bush. You know that. That's the line. I'm delighted to be joined here this morning by the fabulous, wonderful, beautiful First Lady of Minnesota, Mary Pawlenty. Amongst her life experiences, she was a judge for 12 years, and she's been a dedicated champion for great causes in our state of Minnesota, one of which is the support for families of members of the military. As you know, when members of the military serve, their families serve too. So Mary has pulled alongside and put together these enormous efforts to try to encourage nonprofit organizations and community groups and individuals to support and to love and to extend acts of kindness to the families of the military. She's gotten involved in women's heart health issues and so many other wonderful causes. But I do want to share with you, and you probably can relate to this, if you have a spouse or a significant other, they do a pretty good job of keeping you grounded, keeping you on track, keeping you within the guardrails and making sure your expectations are about right. And so I had this experience very dramatically with Mary in 2001. I was the majority leader of the Minnesota legislature, and I had pretty much decided I was not going to run for governor. I came home to our house in Eagan, Minnesota, and was coming in the door, and I said, honey, I don't think I'm going to do it. You know, Jesse Ventura looks like he's going to run again, and this is such a blue state and leans so hard the other way, and you know, it's really time to turn the page. I've been at this for a while, and I've done what I can. And she grabbed me literally by the lapels. And she looked me straight in the eye and gave me a speech that would be right out of a Rocky Balboa movie. I mean, she said, we need you, Minnesota needs you, you be strong, you get in there, you fight, you can do this. I thought, man, all right, I'm in. So I ran, and in a state that really is an uphill battle for a Republican, much less a conservative, I won. So a few months into my governorship, I came home and we had a little tension, a little disagreement about my schedule and missing some commitments for the family. And so there's a little tension in the discussion. I said, but honey, remember, you're the one who told me to do this. You gave me that great, inspiring speech. Don't you remember? And she looked at me and she said, yeah, I never thought you'd win. She said, I just told you that because I wanted you to get it out of your system so we could get on with the rest of our life. Now, when we were here a year ago at Cpac, there were a lot of naysayers, not here in the room, not within Cpac, but on the outside. We had all these pundits and smart alecks saying the sun was setting on the conservative movement. We had people saying we might enter a 30 or 40-year era of liberal government. We had people talking about how the new era of hope and change was sweeping aside our values and principles. Hope and change and teleprompters. Did you see, by the way, the other day, did you see this? President Obama was in a grade school classroom. A grade school classroom speaking to elementary children, and he was using teleprompters. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. That's not a joke. That's a real story. So even in the classroom, but a lot has changed. When we were here last year, I mentioned to you in my speech that notwithstanding those who were trying to visit discouragement upon us, that the spirit of Ronald Reagan was alive and well in this room, that the energy and the values and the principles and the passion of the conservative movement was on the rise and on the march, and it worked. Those of you in this room, conservatives all across this country, did a great job igniting this nation, having your voices heard in Congress, having your voices heard in city halls, having your voices heard in legislatures, up and down Main Street, all across this country. And you know what? The American people liked what they heard. They liked what they heard. And you know why they liked it? They liked it because it was bold. They liked it because it was direct. They liked it because it was telling the truth. And they liked it because it was different than what they've been hearing for so many years, and particularly under the current administration. So I want to thank you for what you've done as a movement, for the leadership and the passion that you've poured into it. The comeback for conservatives in this country was a surprise or unexpected to just about everyone. Except us. Except us. We knew that when freedom is attacked, when our freedoms, our principles, and our values are attacked, a powerful movement will rise up and fight back. And that's what happened. And I thank you for it. Now, at this very hour, or very shortly this morning, a big event is happening in the United States of America. Tiger Woods is holding his press conference at 11 o'clock Eastern. Now, I think we can learn a lot from that situation. Not from Tiger, but from his wife. So she said, I've had enough. She said, no more. I think we should take a page out of her playbook and take a 9-iron and smash the window out of a big government in this country. We've had enough. Now, even though we've made great progress over the last year, let's be candid with each other. We face sobering challenges as a nation. We love the United States of America. We love this country. We don't wish it ill will. We want to make sure that we rise up, not just to highlight the problems and the challenges, but also that we offer solutions and a more positive and hopeful agenda going forward. We may well be given, as conservatives, the privilege and the responsibility to govern and lead this nation once again. And when we do, this time, we need to do what we say we're going to do.